everyone. This is Shawn1113, your host for the Shawn1113 Podcast Show. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you love this podcast, everything will be linked in the description below. Best way to contact me, though, will be at Shawn47k@gmail.com. Shawn47k@gmail.com. And with that, thank you so much. Everything else will be in the description. So thank you for the podcast and whatever platform you may be listening to. Now, with all that, been pretty busy with a lot of things. Best time of the year right now, you're seeing right now, March into April. Very interesting stuff going on with that. Let me start with the NCAA basketball tournament. Before I even go through that, let me start with the women's basketball tournament and ask the question. As many of you know, Caitlin Clark has been basically the latest, hottest thing in women's basketball. And I have a question. Look, Iowa made it to the championship game last year. Is it a guarantee that can lead them to an actual national women's college basketball championship, though? That's the question I have. And in my opinion, I don't know what you think, but in my opinion, I don't think so. There are too many stronger teams, South Carolina, maybe LSU, and many others. When it comes down to it, right now at this time, I'm picking South Carolina to win the women's championship right now. But like I said, I don't watch a lot of women's college basketball, so I'm not the biggest expert on it. Oh, I know. I've heard for the last few weeks, Caitlin Clark, South Carolina, LSU, UConn. That's all I know about that. So I plead ignorance on that, and so can Caitlin Clark actually lead Iowa to a national championship? We'll find out. Now for the men's championship. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to put every game below in the description and all that stuff. Let me give you a couple of things, though. Final four. I have Iowa State, Arizona, Houston, and Crieghton for the Final Four. Iowa State, Arizona, Houston, and Crieghton for the Final Four. And I actually have probably two possible upset specials. I think, well, actually three. The topper here, I think Mcneese will beat Gonazaga. And I also think James Madison will beat Wisconsin. And then the other ones are going to be New Mexico against Clemson. I think I'm picking New Mexico beat Clemson. And UAB beating San Diego State. I think that's what's going to happen there. But the top one is Mcneese and Gonazaga. It's going to be the trendy pick. I'm picking Mcneese in that one. And then James Madison over Wisconsin. Those are the two pretty big upset specials I can think of on that. So we are now in the best time of the year, the NCAA basketball tournament, and off we're running. Now, NFL free agency. A lot of things moving, a lot of things happening. Who got the best one? I think Atlanta got probably the best one, getting Kirk Cousins, if he stays healthy. Relatively healthy, that is. It's going to be, and I also have a question, though. What in the world is going on in Pittsburgh? You get Russell Wilson, then you trade for Justin Fields, which adds some drama to the NFL draft at the end of April. But I don't know. Who's your starting quarterback for Pittsburgh? You might want to figure that out pretty much before that. It's going to be very interesting. If Pittsburgh defense can want to figure out, let me know. I mean, I can't. Like I said, I'm a Dolphin fan, so we got hit hard with the salary cap. So in my opinion, we got linebacker help there, and the rest got some pretty good. Raiders did pretty well, I think. Believe it or not, getting Christian Wilkins and the bolster that who's their quarterback, Tony Las Vegas, I don't know. But I'll tell you, there are going to be some more moves in free agency in the NFL draft coming up. The drama seems to be Caleb Williams. If they're going to the Bears or Jaden Daniels or Drake May, we'll see what happens there before everything goes down in the schedule and all that. And before you know, the NFL season will be here one day. And I guarantee you at some point they're going to be 18 games. I'm surprised they didn't get 18 games sooner, though. But I think it's going to be eventually 18 games. And get rid of the preseason, to be honest with you. English Premier League, I haven't followed as much, to be honest with you. But I look at the table right now, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City within one game. Some big games coming up. Arsenal against Manchester City is going to be pretty much a huge game there. Liverpool and Brighton is going to be a massive game. I got to wonder, will Arsenal choke this time like it did last year at this time? Like I said, it's 10 games left. We'll see what happens. Aston Villa is definitely an improved team this year. I mean, what happened to Newcastle? So this year. And they were a dangerous team. But Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester, I guarantee you this will take the final. It'll take the final day of the final of that season to win for that to decide. But will Arsenal choke again? Will Liverpool, the previous champion other than Manchester City, to win again? Or Manchester City might repeat again? We'll see what happens with that. MLB coming on soon, in pretty much around the corner as well, with the Padres and Dodgers in Korea. We'll see what happens there. I'm excited about that. NHL, along with NHL and NBA, as their seasons come around the corner. NBA, it's a very interesting MVP race that has emerged. And I think the favorite is going to be Jason Tatum at the moment. But I'll tell you what, Jokic is going to be there. There's no doubt about that. I do believe there are two people that in my opinion, that could definitely, I might see him win the MVP in the NBA. And that's Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks and Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. I think those four are your front runners right now. Tatum, Jokic, Luka, and Brunson. Those are the four, in my opinion, that might be very well MVP in the NBA. We'll see what happens there. NHL, it's winding down. Like I said, both leagues are winding down, actually. So we'll find out. We'll see. I mean, Vancouver continues to be the big story here. Big story. Winnipeg has come along. The Rangers, in my opinion, are going to be the story. Florida has come along. Vegas. It's going to be a very interesting. Los Angeles Kings coming back. Whoa. And I'm looking at the standings. But we'll see, though. We'll see. I think it's wide open. Boston might win the division and then choke again. Who knows? But we're going to find out a lot about these teams at time. Detroit's probably a massive story, though. Coming back from absolutely nowhere, in my opinion. So we'll see if they can make it. We'll see. Wide open, but it is wide open. I can tell you that. Let me look at the NBA standings for 1 second. See if there's anything that stands out with that. Celtics, no surprise. They're going to be probably the prohibitive favorites to win it all. Bucks and probably Milwaukee. Heat, Sixers. Sixers are. Magic might be a surprise. The Knicks definitely will be a contender. Maybe nobody wants to play the New York Knicks. In the Western Conference, Nuggets, Thunder, Timberwolves, although that injury to Karl-Anthony Towns definitely hurts. Clippers, Pelicans, I think that's a wide open. Warriors are pretty much almost back to some kind of normalcy. Pelicans, watch out for them. Kings are probably. I don't think anybody wants to play the Kings. I really don't, in my opinion. Other than that, it's a wide open West and a wide open East going into the playoff picture. So with that, I covered everything. Golf. I almost forgot about that. The Masters in April. And in my opinion, the favorite is going to be Scotty Scheffler. In my opinion, to be honest. Excuse me. I had to get some coffee. In my opinion, Scotty Scheffler to me is going to be the favorite coming in. Harman, Schauffele, Wyndham Clark. It's a who knows what's going to happen there. Jon Rahm defending his Masters Championship, and I can't wait for that. Although I did see a lot of the Players Championship list. Yesterday evening, and that was brutal. That Wyndham Clark miss that went in, lifted in and lifted out, was brutal. Absolutely cool to see that. If you haven't seen it, it lifted. It looked like it was going to make it, and they were already made it, and then they just the cup lifted out around it. That was brutal. That would have also forced a playoff in the Players Championship. So I got a wide variety of sports in, and like I said, this is Shawn1113 Podcast Show. Thank you for listening. If you like this content, please contact me in the description below. Also, thank you so much for listening wherever you may be and whatever platform you're listening to. Even though Google Podcast is going away pretty soon, no loss there. I think you're more likely to go to YouTube, and then Spotify caster is going to go back to Riverside after June. Soon, I'm still trying to figure that out. But with that, also my tabletop update is going pretty good. My hobby, a lot of stuff with that. I'll probably do a separate video on that. What I'm talking about. I'm still trying to wake up, but I'm gonna do a tabletop update pretty soon on the podcast as well. Before you know it, so be on the lookout for that in this podcast. Now, with that, I've said more than enough. So thank you for listening anywhere and everywhere in the world. And as always, please stay encouraged no matter what.